Buffalo Wild Wings reported better than expected second quarter earnings on Thursday evening, but for the second straight quarter, same-store sales declined as consumers reined in their spending on dining out. Joining me today to discuss results is Buffalo Wild Wings President and CEO Sally Smith. Thanks for taking the time today, Sally. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian, for having me on.
Well, I think Wall Street is not used to seeing these sales declines from you. I mean, you've just been a red-hot chain literally from day one. Where are you seeing some of the challenges? Is it the loyalist, the beer guy that sucks down a pitcher when he comes in to visit you, or more of the casual consumer?
You know, it's really interesting. We have just completed a very extensive study on our customer or fan purchasing, and our core customer who we target, those that love sports, participate in sports, are sports affiliated, families, are continuing to use us just like they always did. I think it's that casual consumer who moves from brand to brand that we're seeing really look for value and convenience, and they're getting that from QSR. As well as I think that commodity costs have kept grocery prices low, and so you're seeing some purchasing of prepared foods at grocery stores.
Interesting. And what are you doing to respond? I believe you recently launched a half-price wing day in certain test markets. Are you going to take that nationwide? And what's been the early response?
You know, we're very pleased with how that's been rolled out. We have it, it's in 80 restaurants right now. We'd plan to evaluate that over the next 90 days, and if the trends continue as they are, we do plan on having a system-wide roll.
So you feel that is
our guests love it. It's easier for them to order, and the kitchen easier for them to prepare. So we think it's a win all around, and we do believe that can help drive traffic. It is that value message.
Absolutely. And recently this week we got news that an activist investor, Marcato Capital, came onto the scene. You said on the earnings call last night that you may be looking at share repurchases and a dividend on your analyst day. I think it's August 16th. But are you also open to refranchising? Refranchising, I guess, lowers the cost. But take us through that for a little bit.
So, we have ongoing conversations with all of our shareholders, and so any discussions that we've had with Marcato Capital will be part of our normal shareholder outreach. Certainly, I've read the 13D, and the information or the proposals that were in that, or the ideas, are ones that we've heard before. Certainly, capital allocation and our strategy behind that has been top of mind for all of our shareholders. So we wanted to be able to provide more clarity, which we will do on August 16th at our Analyst Day. We take a look at our asset base all the time, and what areas should be franchised, what should be company-owned. And so I don't, at this point, can't really comment on any kind of shift that we may or may not undertake. It is something that we're in the middle of our annual planning process, but we look at both for the short term and long term.
But you certainly have the capacity. I think it was mentioned on the call. I mean, you have the capacity to do something. Very low leverage. You generate tons of cash.
We do. That's the great thing about the restaurant industry. We've been able to fund all of our growth through cash flow, but we do have capacity on the balance sheet to take on some debt, and that debt would first be used if we needed it for growth, but again, we generate a lot of cash, so shouldn't need it for growth. We would look at that then to be able to either repurchase shares or possibly a dividend in order to lower our cost of capital.
Interesting. I'll end it on a couple fun ones. Olympics boost. I think on the God News last night, it may have sounded flattish in terms of sales in the third quarter, but are you expecting an Olympics-related boost?
I think anytime there's events that are being televised is a great opportunity for us, and the Olympics is no different. It also happens to coincide with the beginning of football season. So we'll have people and their fans in doing their fantasy football drafts as well as watching preseason. That said, if there's an athlete that is going, there's a possibility of breaking a record or accumulating a certain number of gold medals, that always generates interest. So we see it as a win. It should certainly help with traffic. But we think that we have other sales-driving initiatives that will also address traffic.
And lastly, I know you're a football fan. We've talked a bunch of times in the past. Tom Brady, I guess, out for the first 4 games. Do you see them people in the Northeast just not coming to visit because Tom Brady? Are these guys still love their football team? They're going to show up anyway for a beer and some wings.
You know, football is football, and I certainly think while they may be loyal to a team, many of them also have fantasy teams, and so they want to see what's happening across the league with their other players to see, you know, how are they going to do that week in their fantasy football.
Oh, let's go Jets in my case. Thank you so much for taking the time as always. I really appreciate it. Good luck this quarter.
Brian, thank you so much.